Hello and welcome to Hellbent Holler Live. My name is Jessie Doyle. I am your ghostess hostess with the mostest here for another Monday night live stream. We are so happy that you could join us. At my side here is my husband, my partner, my confidant, my buddy, friend, old pal. Joe. So let's check and see if you guys can hear us. Let us know in the chat. You can hear us, you can see us, and everything is kosher. And that we sound good, because I had to set up the microphones today because he was a little late coming home.
A little late.
So let us know that you can hear us and everything is good, and we will get started with the show tonight. Erev says audio check, video check. Let's go.
All right. Let's get it going. Who all we got in tonight? We got the usual suspects. And we do have the usual suspects, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Here. All right. Good deal.
For sure. All right. So I'm going to go ahead.
Robin Freiberger. Brian from Black Mass recommended you. Yeah, Black Mass Paranormal is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I've got to reach out to him because he got sick on one of his outings. He thinks he might have been exposed to some sort of toxin, or maybe kind of what happened to you might have happened to him. But yeah, Brian's bad ass. We're going to probably end up doing something with him in the field.
Yeah, we've discussed with him possibly doing a crossover episode.
Yeah, exactly.
So where we would do an episode with him, go out in the field with him. I think that would be a lot of fun. I'd like to go to the Daniel Boone National Forest and check that out.
He's doing a lot of stuff in the Smokies nowadays too.
Yeah,
so.
Cool. Well, that's even closer. That'd be even better.
Even better. So,
But yeah, we're talking about doing that. I think that'd be a really good crossover episode. Hopefully it doesn't turn out to be an after school special and it's just a regular old crossover episode. Yeah. But yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. I'm going to go ahead and throw up our stuff right here. There we go. That's our contact information down below. You can email us at hellbentholler@gmail.com. If you have questions, comments, a story you want to share with us, anything like that, you just email it there and I will respond to you with the quickness, because it's what I'm doing all the time now.
It's what I'm doing all the time.
Also down there is our P.O. box. We do get letters from time to time from our awesome viewers. So if you want to send us a letter or anything like that, that is our P.O. box. I check it weekly. So that is down there as well. We are on the cusp. We are on the edge of 10,000 followers. 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you guys could do us a favor and make sure you are still subscribed, because we did lose a few subscribers through, I don't know what happened there, but make sure you are subscribed. And if you know anybody that would like Hellbent Holler, like any of my videos, like our live stream, like anything at all, even if they just have a pulse, let's get them on there and let's get to 10,000 subscribers. That's what we're headed for right now, and that's what we're looking for.
Silver Carper asks, what in the wild world of sports has happened to Joe's beard? The heat happened to Joe's beard. We usually take like July and August off from like field investigations and just focus on other stuff, just because it's so hot in this part of the country. It's so humid. You end up spending more time filtering water, to stay hydrated than you do anything else. And this year we have not had that luxury, because right now we are getting a steady stream of Bigfoot reports from like our neck of the woods, our immediate neck of the woods. So it's kind of like we keep thinking we're going to take a week off, and then we're like, well, what if we miss something? So then we're right back out at that point. So
somebody said that you sound a little muddy.
I sound a little muddy?
It might just be the no beard filter. That's what it is.
There's no beard filter on me. So
yeah. All right. That was what the flock. You can't trust the bird man. All righty. Cool. All right. I'm trying to catch up right now.
I'm assuming that Brian from Black Mass sent me here. Did Brian just say something about us recently?
He must have.
I saw his live stream the other night was on, but I didn't have a chance to watch it. And so if Brian was kind enough to say something about us, why don't you guys chime in on the chat, and I'll reach out to him when we get done. And give him a big old thank you.
If you guys haven't subscribed to his channel, if you guys are our subscribers and you're not subscribed over there, after the show tonight, not right now, stay tuned. After the show tonight, I want you to go over there and subscribe to him. So Jonestead Farm says, we've been investigating the Daniel Boone National Forest. That is cool. I've never been to the Daniel Boone National Forest. I'd like to go check it out sometime. But we've got our hands full right now
Yeah, we do.
with
It's
South
weird.
Carolina.
It's weird.
We live in South Carolina, and I'm from Western North Carolina. He's from Virginia, but we live in the upstate area of South Carolina. So we've been traveling a lot to North Georgia, North Carolina to go and investigate stuff.
Mhm.
And we just on a whim decided to do some South Carolina Bigfoot stuff and kind of go back to places we had already been in South Carolina and really hammer that home. Because a lot of people don't do investigations in South Carolina and really put it out there. And there's not a lot of stories from South Carolina that are really getting out to the public.
And what's weird is that North Georgia is considered a Sasquatch hotspot.
Yes.
Western North Carolina considered a hotspot.
Yes.
What's between the two of those?
It's the
South Carolina,
the dark corner.
And it's not like, they've got maps and they're just taking the long way around the state line. It's just that people in this part of the state are kind of a rare breed, and they don't really go in for things like making Bigfoot reports.
Yeah.
What's crazy is we did that video, we went back and checked that spot back out, and then once we released it, it's just like the floodgates opened.
Oh yeah.
With just local reports. So it's right now we take this part of the year off. We're busier than ever because there's all of these reports from relatively close by.
Yep, and it's awesome because we had discussed this before. It's like with South Carolina, we're like, God, we got to travel so far to go follow up on all these reports, and then we just released that South Carolina video, and everybody's just coming out of the woodwork, and it's amazing because there's so many untold stories that come from this region and this area, and there's so many weird. And it's not just Sasquatch. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really weird stuff, and there's a lot of ghost stuff too.
A lot of weird. We're getting some weird reports that involve like humans, I guess. I don't know. I mean, they don't seem like feral people, but just they don't seem like ghosts. So we've got that to look into. Central Florida is in the house. We have not watched your latest video yet either, buddy. We got about 5 minutes into it.
And we had to do something else.
So that's in our.
He looks like Central Florida Bigfoot. I know that we complain about the heat here, that it's
he's
so
running
hot,
around the woods,
but you're running around Central Florida and the swamps of Central Florida. So God bless you. God bless you. I'm dying.
When we were at Central Florida is the guy that when we were at Monster Fest and we're all in this air conditioned hotel bar with Mike Ann.
Yeah.
He's like, let's call Central Florida up and give him, bust his chops. Call him up. He's got like his GoPro on. He's like getting ready to go into the swamp. And I'm like, great, wait to like show us up, man. We're in a hotel bar while you're busting it in the swamp at this point. So
you know what? It was so hot. It was even hot in Ohio. So I was thankful for that Kettle One and soda instead of a hot swamp.
But if you are into the Bigfoot field, like most people here are, hop on over to Central Florida Bigfoot when you're done here and check his channel out. He is one of the most, if not the most inventive people that's doing this sort of stuff nowadays.
What helps is he's a professional photographer, and we just don't have a lot of people. We have people. It's nice to have people getting involved with the Bigfoot field that are kind of experts in their field and can bring something new to the table and really bring in whatever they do and really apply it to the Bigfoot subject and really kind of look at things with a fresh eye and a different eye.
Even if you're not into Bigfoot. I remember I told you he was shooting that test footage and I was going, I've been sitting here watching him film like ferns and everything like that for 30 minutes, man. It's really captivating footage and he's doing some really interesting stuff there. So
the way he shoots stuff is really, really awesome.
Hey, we're actually starting to get suggested. You came up my feed for my Bigfoot searches. I love your channel.
Oh, wonderful.
YouTube is finally letting us get into the algorithm.
Don't say it too loud, though. They'll get us.
So yeah, we are getting ready to hit 10,000. I was looking at the numbers. Look, I was running the numbers, Jesse, for the Hellbender Empire. And we started kind of doing a push on this a little over a year ago. But I think we've added in something like close to 8,000 people in like 7 months or something like that. That's not bad for a couple of weirdos who don't know what they're doing.
Not too bad at all. Not too bad at all.
Look at that.
CWD123. Thank you for that. That is awesome. CWD123 says, "Hey guys, first time catching a live. Wanted to tell Jesse thanks again for Abigail's gifts. Y'all got to check out Chahaya Mountain and let's do this. Chocoloco Wildlife Management Area in Alabama." We started filing a lot of our emails into started categorizing things by state. So we're going to be able to kind of expand out in a more organized manner.
Yeah, we never really fooled with that much because we were very focused in 2 different regions. So if we got something outside of those regions, we would pass it along to somebody who maybe was a little bit closer. But now what we're doing is that, we're focusing on our backyard for a while. And then when that's done, I don't think it's ever going to be done, but when we're ready for something else, I think we need to start like getting a little bit more further afield at this point. The Southern Appalachians are obviously our focus, but there's a lot of other cool places out there that we would like to go to. People that like contact us about different types of stuff. I don't know. Is Abigail on the chat tonight?
It's her dad, but I'm assuming Abigail is also watching. Hello, Abigail.
Hello, Abigail.
I hope you really like your care package that I sent you. I'm glad it got to you as quickly as it did. So I hope you really enjoy the stuff I sent you. Abigail is 10 years old and she is a big fan of Hellbent Holler. And I sent her a care package and I hope she really enjoys it. And I really, really appreciate you watching and being a part of the Hellbender family.
It's going to be the next generation. So Barry Hicks, I'm in the upstate. I got a few Bigfoots here. Barry, email us at hellbentholler@gmail.com. Put South Carolina in the title line so we know. We are slowly getting caught up on emails. As a matter of fact, I've got emails that we found from like 6 months ago that like just got lost in the mix that we're in the process of responding to. So anyway.
CWD123 says, you say it like Chiha and Chakalaka. There you go. Chiha and Chakalaka. Chakalaka ding a dong.
Steam Ditch, no. Just hit the like button. He's here to say that it didn't kill him. So,
yeah.
All right. Once we, I have to catch you in on this joke later on because I actually responded to this comment earlier.
Oh, did you?
Stingray's orb denier. So, because he had the audacity to get on there and go, I don't know, guys, those brown mountain lights, that might be, I think he said Chinese lanterns. And I was like, you're a damn orb denier is what you are. You know what I'm saying? And then he's like, no, I think it's just this. And I'm like, that sounds exactly like something an orb denier would say.
An orb denier?
Orb denier. So.
You remember those memes that were going around of the wizard?
The orb ponderers?
The orb ponderers, yeah. See, now we're orb ponderers.
Susan C's got a good point. Folks in the South don't talk to outsiders about weird stuff, especially older folks. Southerners are very introverted and keep to themselves when we can. Yeah, it's weird. I'm going to use Jesse's uncle as an example. Jesse's uncle.
My Uncle Joey.
My Uncle Joey. Uncle Joey, he's a country boy. Is that a fair assessment of Joey?
I think I've seen my uncle wear a shirt.
Maybe 3 times.
Maybe 3 times. Yeah.
So he will just be like, I don't know about all that Bigfoot. That's just stupid. That's ridiculous, And then that's outwardly. And then when there's nobody else around, he'll tell you about the time that he saw, 8-foot tall red eyes glowing at him from a campfire.
So I grew up near the Pisgah National Forest near if you guys are familiar with Western North Carolina, Haywood County. I grew up near Crusoe, North Carolina, and that's on the edge of the Pisgah National Forest. I'm from like the Cold Mountain area near Lake Logan and all of that stuff up there. So my uncle was actually camping with a few friends out there, and they were way back. They were on off of Lake Logan Drive, actually, and it was in the Pisgah National Forest. And that goes up to the Blue Ridge Parkway. So he went to relieve himself, and it was kind of late at night. He went to go relieve himself. They were all sitting around a campfire, and he goes to the edge of the forest there, and he's looking off into the darkness, and he sees just a pair of red eyes looking at him from the depths of the forest, and they're glowing. Like they're just self-illuminated, glowing red eyes staring at him. And he said they were like 8 or like 8.5 feet off the ground. They were way up there. They were higher than any people could be standing. He said he just stared at it, goes, huh, zipped up, and then went back to camp. So, but it's just funny that somebody would be like, oh, it's so Bigfoot's so stupid. And they're like, well, there was that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that. Those self-illuminated eyes. That's totally normal, though, right?
Drewster wants to know how the knee is. We were out. So we were out this weekend. There'll be a video dropping this week, right?
Yeah.
About at the first half?
I think Wednesday is, I'm releasing a new video on Wednesday.
So we were out. We have been getting Bigfoot reports fairly close to where we were at in the Dark Corner video. And we've gotten a few reports from there. So we went into this. If you guys watch this channel, we love old country roads, old forestry roads, old service roads that have been blocked off and haven't been used for years. And there's a section in the video that I think you'll include in that. I talked about how it's weird. It seems like the populations ebb and flow in certain areas. There may be an area where Sasquatch is. Well, then man comes in, builds a campground, cuts a road through. The Sasquatch retreats back further into the forest. And then when man abandons that area, the Sasquatch move back in and take advantage of the stuff that was left there.
Yeah.
In this case, old forestry roads and stuff like that. They're overgrown, but they're more level. It's easier to traverse. And pretty much every form of life is going to take the easiest path if it's safe to do so. So we do spend a lot of time on old forestry roads, checking them out. We were in this old forestry road that hasn't been used in, I don't know how many years. The forest is slowly taking it back over. We started finding prints. We found one really good one. And then we found others that were it was kind of in like red clay mud and it had solidified. Jesse's knocking on the mud. It sounds like she's knocking on this concrete block. But then other prints were in more of sandy soil and they had eroded from the rain a little bit. So we go back in that night and what's weird is the path was rough during the daytime and it's overgrown. Grass is coming back up through, but it was still an easy walk. When we went back at night, it just seemed like there were like small trees, large branches, all this like everywhere, all over the place. There hadn't been any wind or a storm or anything. But we said several times going, this was not here when we came through earlier. Now, nothing like a massive tree pushed over or anything like that, but there was a lot more blockages and obstacles in the road at night, was there not?
Yeah.
So much so that Jesse took a tumble.
I took a tumble. However, I will have you guys know that I did not break my Phasm cam. The Phasm cam is connected to our battery backup, which is also kind of like it's a little tripod, handheld tripod. I did fall so hard, the camera came off of the thing and was swinging by the cable.
She was a trooper, man. She fell and she spun and protected the camera equipment and it just hit hard.
I had my thermal on my belt. I had my thermal on me. And
how did you do that? You did this because your knee hit.
I went down.
Yeah, but she took a hit, man, but she was a champ.
It was man down. It was man down.
The equipment made it through fine.
Yeah, so that was fine. I made it through, but I'm okay. I have a little bruising and then my hands tore up, but that's okay. Camera's okay. That's the important part.
Timothy Bladen, shoot us an email if you've got some stuff to share, my friend. So Kim Drescher wants to know, can we talk about this or not? Are the climate creating a situation where we're seeing things we don't normally see? I think that, I don't know. It's just, you always have people that go, everybody always thinks they're living in the end times. You know what I'm saying? I think every generation has always thought that. You've got to admit there's a lot of weird stuff going on right now. From like UAPs to physical stuff, I don't know. Is it that more people are open to it and they're willing to admit what they're seeing? By virtue of more people being open to it?
Yeah.
Is the stuff becoming more visible? I don't know. But you're not the only person who feels that way. Kim. And then Hennessy says that she shared your video, The Brown Mountain Lights, with her sister.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, that Brown Mountain, we'll get into the Brown Mountain Lights. We have a lot of comments about the Brown Mountain Lights and people kind of sharing their experiences of seeing the Brown Mountain Lights or wanting to see the Brown Mountain Lights. I have those queued up there. So we're going to talk about this Brown Mountain Lights situation. I know that a lot of you watch.
Before you do, because our friend Marcus wants to know, this will go with that. Do the Brown Mountain Lights have a history going back hundreds of years ago or more? Great captures. You can kind of kill two birds with one stone.
Yep, here. we're gonna kill those brown mountain birds. Okay.
Kill the brown mountain birds.
Okay. Yes. So I released the Brown Mountain Lights video finally. We recorded that back in February. A lot of you that are in the chat right now were actually watching that live stream when we did it. We went to Brown Mountain. It was actually a spur of the moment trip. We were actually going to Boone, North Carolina. Joe and I decided, we needed a break and we wanted to kind of just get out of town and maybe go buy ourselves something nice. So we went to Daniel Winkler's shop in Boone, North Carolina, and we bought knives. And that's really close to the Linville Gorge area, which is where the Brown Mountain Lights are. And that's something that he and I have discussed going and checking out forever. I've always wanted to go check that out. And you know how you have like a concept of what it looks like and what it's going to be like when you go there. I, for some reason, thought it was going to be like, I think I was thinking about the overlook off of the Parkway.
Yeah.
We didn't go to the overlook off the Parkway. We went to Wiseman's View. So we drove through the backwoods in the middle of the night to go there. And we actually had like a bar or two. So we actually did a live stream from that location. And a lot of you that are in the chat right now were actually watching that live stream when it happened. And there was no way I could connect the full color night vision camera, the Psionics, to my phone and actually live stream from it. So I had to do this funky thing where I held the camera up to the camera on my phone and kind of held it, and you guys could kind of see what was going on. But I recorded the whole time. So that's where I got that footage that I presented in UFOs over North Carolina, the Brown Mountain Lights. And I was really happy to finally share that footage with you guys, and you guys could actually see
above and beyond what we were able to share by just pushing the phone up to the
and
the viewer.
I integrated some of the live stream footage in there, so you can kind of have context and stuff like that. But you can actually see the raw live stream footage on our channel in our live tab there if you wanted to watch that live raw live stream there. But yeah, it was really nice to finally edit that down and get that together into a concise package for everybody to enjoy. I'm pretty sure those are probably the best images and footage of the Brown Mountain Lights ever taken.
You got in touch with Micah Hanks.
Yes.
Yeah, Micah Hanks.
So
you guys know who Micah Hanks is.
If you're not familiar with Micah Hanks, he is one of the founders of the Deep Reef. He has the Micah Hanks program. He's really into UFOs primarily, but he does other stuff. We ran into him at Monster Fest. A hell of a nice guy. Very nice guy. I actually sent him the footage. He's seen he lives in Asheville, so he's seen the Brown Mountain Lights a few times. And he's been up there a few times. But I sent that to him. He's like, I've already seen this. So he had already seen the footage. So that was really cool that he had already actually seen my footage. But I was really excited to finally share that footage with you guys. I know a lot of people have experiences with the Brown Mountain Lights. And I think I starred a couple of those. We put those in the thing. So we'll read those and we can talk about you guys' experience with them. I didn't expect to see what we saw. And we wouldn't have seen what we saw without the right technology.
Yeah. And I think that's the other thing too, is that everybody always tells you go in the fall. Maybe that's true. Maybe that's not. We have a sample size of 1. We went in the middle of winter when there was nobody else around.
Yeah.
And we lugged a bunch of equipment out there onto that crumbling overlook. You know what I'm saying? I think I say that at one point going, this damn thing's right. Just go down the mountain with us with it. But we had equipment. We had the right equipment. We were up there trying different stuff. We were trying full color night vision, which did the best job of all of that. We had full spectrum. We had 2 different types of night vision. We had all sorts of stuff.
And we're trying not to fall off the side of the mountain.
Thermal cameras and all that. But luckily the Psionics full color night vision did the best job of capturing that.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So anyway.
But they were just amazing to see. It was really, really, what a treat. What a fantastic treat. But we wouldn't have seen what we saw without that camera because it was a full moon, but it's still pretty dark up there. But the Psionics really allowed us, having the right tool for the job, really allowed us to see those lights and really capture them and really present that footage and share that with the world. So I was really happy to release that with you guys.
Joe and Jesse, I have a question. Have you ever heard of Outdoor University? Have you heard of Outdoor University?
I have not heard of Outdoor University.
I've not heard of Outdoor University.
I don't have
Rickle? Is that Rickle or Ricky? Am I saying
Ricky.
Ricky?
Ricky.
Why does it look like Rickle on my screen here? I'm gonna call you Rickle. We don't. I'm actually not familiar with that. I'm assuming that's a.
I don't have my notepad, so I'm going to text that to Joe, and we'll check that out.
Timothy Bladen saw the Brown Mountain Lights about 35 years ago. We were expecting.
That's the only time we've ever gone.
Little lights, like flashes of light in the woods, the valley. We had seen spook lights all the time, and that's why we started getting all this weird camera equipment, because the standard cameras we had all it was videos of us going, do you see that? Do you see that? Pretty much like every other YouTube channel out there.
Yeah.
So we just started trying like different types of cameras to try to capture them. So when we went out to Brown Mountain, we were very prepared because we had all of these different types. We had 3 different types of full spectrum cameras. We had 2 types of standard night vision. We had color night vision, 3 different thermal imagers. So we had a wide range of stuff to capture it, and that's how we were able to capture it, you know. And that, I don't think there was anybody else around to see it either, which was what it was even weirder.
Yeah.
And then people are going, oh, it's Chinese lanterns. Dude, we're on a mountaintop in the wintertime and it's windy. I mean, if you got a lantern up, they're all going to head in the same direction with the wind.
Yeah,
because floating around, doing weird stuff.
That is the mountain that you see off to the left, the flat top there. That is Table Rock Mountain, I believe is what it's called. That is at the top of that gorge. So there's just insane like wind shears coming through there. So if you have like a lantern that you release from the top of this remote mountain, it's not going to just hover in one place or go back and forth and then disappear. I don't think that's, you know, that's just, if you want to look for logic in something, there's no logic in what you're suggesting there. But it was crazy. And it was so cold. Joe mentioned the thermal imager. We were using that. I didn't put any thermal footage in there because we didn't really get anything.
None of it was hot.
Yeah, I'll let you know how cold it was. There is, from the overlook, you look directly across there. There's a river that kind of snakes through down the side of that mountain. The river was showing up as like the hottest thing on the screen.
Yeah,
that's how cold it was.
Grace W talks about how your enthusiasm was the best part. Yeah, where she's just screaming at the top of her lungs. Yeah. Because again, we weren't expecting it. We did it on a whim, and then we're focused down in the valley trying to see if we see flashes of light.
Yeah.
We had been seeing spook lights, like, you know, ghost lights. I don't even know if you want to call them orbs at that point, but we'd see the little lights in the woods. We'd see them dance around and chase each other and do all this weird stuff. So we had looked into just different natural phenomena that could be causing that, like ball lightning, piezoelectric effect, earthquake lights, all of this stuff. And so we had looked up stuff on the Brown Mountain Lights, and we were expecting just to see the flashes in the woods. We weren't expecting to see orbs rise up out of the forest and then just drift around like that. So yeah, we were excited, man.
It was wild. I had such a blast. I mean, that was probably one of my favorite trips that we have ever gone on. I had such a blast. It was because it's something that you hear about and you think about and you want to see so bad. And you hear the stories about the Brown Mountain Lights. It's like, oh, well, you don't get to see them all the time. They're just there every now and then. You might get lucky and you might see them. And we had never gone before, and we were just going to be there one night. And we were like, we get there, and then this insane light show happens for us, basically. So I was just over the moon. I was losing my S there. I was losing it because it was it was awesome. And it was so, what a treat, what a blessing to be able to go and actually see that and actually record that. I was just, I'm a lucky little duck. I do have to say that.
Susan Crispin goes, the great thing about your videos is when you see things, we can usually see them too. We do that. That is on purpose because, again, there's nothing, because trust me, man, there's nothing more frustrating than to have two people standing there going, do you see that? Do you see that? I mean, sometimes we include it to kind of give you an idea of what we're dealing with at that moment, but it's frustrating if you can't see it or hear what we're seeing and hearing. So that's why we've got all this equipment. We're sometimes chasing it with equipment to try to be able to show you what we're experiencing. And sometimes even then you don't guess right. We can only carry what we can fit in 2 backpacks because we're usually miles away from our vehicle. So if we pack the wrong stuff because we're anticipating something different, happens all the time. But in the Screaming Beast thing, some people, if they put headphones on and turned it up, could hear what we were hearing.
Laughing Beast.
Yeah, Laughing Beast, I'm sorry. But they could hear the screams in the woods that we were hearing. A lot of people couldn't if you didn't listen to it on headphones, but we're filming with action cams at that point. You know, we didn't have a tripod and all the, the audio equipment just to hike around with. So Wizard Moon talks about night vision and thermal is a must. Yeah, we're actually looking at our night vision setup right now. We're always trying to adapt and try to do things a little differently. So we're actually looking at our current setup and trying to figure out stuff a little differently at that point.
Yep. I'm going to show this one right here. Catherine Gay, thank you for that
Thank you,
$20
Catherine
super
Gay.
sticker. That is really cool.
We'll put that in the Jessie Hospital fund for the next tumble she takes down the mountain at that point. So
I think I'm doing fine.
you did great because like she hit, and it's funny because we're not going to release it because it's embarrassing. But literally the first thing was, is the camera broken? Is everything okay? How's my thermal? And I'm like, it's all right. Let's see how you are, because she fell over this branch. I'm thinking, you know, do you have like a branch going to like your side or anything like that?
I'll
heal.
Out here in the I'll heal. I can't buy a new thermal. I lost my job 2 weeks ago.
So,
I lost my job 2 weeks ago. I can't buy another thermal. So no, I'll heal. I'll be fine.
Catherine Gay, thank you so much.
I do. Thank you. Thank you for that. That's really cool.
All right. Let's see what else we got here.
Lady Wolf says, Jessie's excitement is priceless. In the video I'm releasing on Wednesday, it's the one I'm releasing on Wednesday, you get to really go on our daytime scouting expedition. I really kind of gloss over that in a way with a lot of the videos I release, because I have videos where we're out a little bit during the day and then we have a really big focus on the night. This video I'm releasing it's mostly our day investigation, and this video that's going to come after that is going to be our night investigation. So we really took a lot of time to really take you guys through our daytime scouting expedition on this, and you guys can really see what it's like to actually be out in the woods with us during the day doing our daytime scouting and our daytime kind of look about thing. And you can really you're really going to see the intense levels of autism that I display.
Oh yeah.
In the woods. I'll edit.
She ain't joking.
I edit a lot of that out normally, but I wanted you guys to really see kind of like the daytime process of us going through and investigating these areas before we do our signature thing, which is our night investigation.
Todd Hall wants to know any reports of Bigfoot in Mountain Rest. My brother-in-law swears they're there.
Yes.
Have we got anything recently? You've been doing more email work than I have, so.
Not necessarily reports, but we have had things happen in Mountain Rest. We've been through Mountain Rest several times.
I just didn't know if there's if your brother has had experiences, a brother-in-law, Todd, have him email us.
Yeah,
if you don't mind.
Our email is down below. It's scrolling right now. Have him email us, or if you want to get those experiences from him and just transcribe them and send them to us, we'd love to hear about them. We do go to the Mountain Rest area pretty regularly. We go and check it out up there. It's
funny because Lady Wolf just said that you needed to be tied off, and because I see the comments that you go through on YouTube, you'd have found it by now if it wasn't for Joe. And I'm going, she'd be dead by now if it wasn't for Joe, because otherwise she's just going to run off into the woods. That's then she might find it, but nobody's going to know because that camera is going to be eaten along with the rest of her. So,
but as long as the SD card survives, I think everything's all right.
Yeah.
You know.
All right. I saw about how good the live stream was. The live stream was great, and it's weird because we're trying to live stream and the signal was not the best, and then we're trying to live stream more than we are capture footage. So we weren't quite succeeding in either one, but we were having such a ball doing it though. I don't really care.
Yeah, I think we're going to be we'll have a little bit more of a plan next time, but watch, because we'll have a plan in place.
It'll never happen again.
There
never
won't
see it again. Never see it again.
We're not going to see a single freaking light. We won't see anything.
The full color night vision. We got the early model that came out. And when they first came out, I can't remember how we got it so cheap. We got it cheap. Either we reached out to them or something like that. We were able to get it fairly inexpensively. They're more expensive now.
Yeah.
And we need to eventually upgrade to the one that takes larger SD cards and it's a little bit more sensitive. So
the Pro.
Yeah.
We have the Psionics Aurora Sport,
which is the same sensor as all the rest of them. It's just white, and nobody wanted the white one. But we got the white one because we don't really care.
It was mostly used by boaters. And actually, when we went to the LBL, there's a couple of really nice marinas around Grand Rivers, Kentucky. We actually took it down, and there's a place called Lighthouse Landing. We went down there, and they have a really cool sailboat marina. But we actually took the Psionics down there, and I filmed a lot. And I was like, okay, wow, I can really see why this is such a helpful thing for boaters coming in at night, because you can just see everything with all the lights and everything.
People talking about Outdoor University. I guess we'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
So, what the flock? Y'all should set a drone out. When we were up there that night, it was windy. There was no way a drone was going to make it across that valley to the other mountain peak. I mean, it was super windy at that point. So
I've got one for you.
What you got?
Without the beard, Joe gives off a Corey Feldman Lost Boys vibe.
Thanks for that, Headhunter Trading. Appreciate that. wish she ate that.
That's always a Kiefer Sutherland gal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
April Black, they're not. We were getting, this was right after the Chinese spy balloons had been shot down, remember?
Yeah.
Because I nearly flipped on the stream that night because I was like, I swear to God, if one more person mentions Chinese spy balloons, I'm just going to shut the whole damn stream down.
Actually, I go into a rant. I cut it out of the footage that I released recently because there's no context for it because I think everybody forgot about the Chinese spy balloon. I go on to a rant. I was like, if you think the damn Chinese Communist Party is up here, I'm so mad because everybody was just like, it's spy balloons. It's not.
Timothy saw the Brown Mountain Lights that would start out dim and bright and start racing back and forth across the walls of the gorge. What's that sound like? Lost Cove.
Yeah, that was around July, probably in the early 90s.
That's how the lights behave in Lost Cove. Our buddy Nighthawk High Strangeness. Question, has anyone ever gotten an aerial view of the Brown Mountain Lights from like a hot air balloon? No. There was a university project that had stationary cameras set up because they were trying to figure out what the Brown Mountain Lights were. And I think that YouTube channel is still active. I'm not sure, even if the cameras aren't. They were getting a view from approximately where we were, but I don't, to my knowledge, if anybody's ever done it, it hasn't entered public discussion. I might be wrong on that, but I just don't think that there has
a hot air balloon.
That's a good idea, though. So
we're gonna take I'm scared of hot air balloons. It's a scary thing.
That's what you're scared of. Not scared of any of this other stuff.
I got two fears in life. One of them is a hot air balloon.
Thank you, Marcus. Marcus, we really appreciate your support every week, man. We really
thank you so much.
That. So, what do you think about getting a drone or two to investigate up close on various phenomena? We had a drone. We had a drone. We had a decent drone. Not top of the line, but it wasn't the bottom of the line either. It was a nice drone. And we took it up into North Georgia and we're trying to use it. And we just lost control of it. And you could say it's like paranormal stuff. I just don't think I was very good at flying the damn drone. And
we lost control of it.
And I didn't know what to do. And I lost it. It's in a treetop. So we'll eventually get another drone. Most of the areas we operate in, the tree cover is pretty thick. Yeah. So it's still useful. We'll get one probably towards the end of this year.
Yeah, and I'd like to get maybe with collision avoidance.
Yeah, we definitely need collision avoidance. Yeah.
But yeah, you know what would be cool is if we go up, we need to go back up to the spot where we lost the drone, and maybe after all this time, the drone is actually on the ground now and not in the treetop.
It's ruined at this point.
But we could get that SD card out.
That's true.
You know, always look for the SD card.
Thank you, Marcus, for that again. Thank you.
I do have the footage of Joe crashing the drone into a tree.
R.I.P. drone.
R.I.P. droney. Jay Myers, Jesse, did I hear right? You lost your job. Yes, 2 weeks ago, my bar closed. So R.I.P. Smiley.
That's why you're going to see
that's
more
why you have
videos come out right now while she's...
I have videos coming out left and right because that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm spending all of my time doing. Working on videos. I know Joe mentioned Lost Cove earlier because we're talking about this light phenomenon. We're talking about these orbs and these lights that don't seem to have a source, or we can't really explain what they are. We've discussed Lost Cove ad nauseum at this point.
Yep.
We actually went to Lost Cove a few years ago and we filmed while we were there. We had crappier cameras while we were up there, but we did.
That crappy camera worked really good on those particular lights, though.
Yes.
Really good on those particular lights. Yeah. We had a crappy night vision camera that didn't work with a dam for anything else.
Yeah.
Those lights it picked up real well.
So we went to Lost Cove a couple of years ago and we did film our expedition on there. We're not as polished as we are now. We're not as wise.
Not as wise as we are now.
Didn't have the equipment we have now, but I do have that footage. And I think I've mentioned this before. I'm going to kind of go through the archives of all this unreleased stuff. And I'm going to release new videos, of course. I'm also going to start releasing some stuff from the archives because that first Lost Cove trip was pretty wild. And I get attacked by a creature. So be on the lookout for that. That's going to be one of the from the archive episodes that I do release.
Coco Pup GT, if you're still in the chat, send that to us, man.
Yes,
or lady,
send us that.
Man or lady. So, all right, let's see here.
We're tearing through today, ain't we?
We're going through, man. So,
all right. Silence, dead air.
I used to volunteer at a ranch doing horse therapy with autistic kids. It's amazing. You need a horse, Jesse.
So when I said I'm scared of two things, I'm scared of hot air balloons and I'm scared of horses.
Yep.
So that's not going to happen. My cousin is like a champion barrel racer. She's great with horses. I'm terrified of them. So
Susie C took a tumble. I thought Jesse had, and like I said, when I'm not exaggerating, when she hit and she fell, and I turned around just in time to see her doing this weird, the knees heading in one direction, the body is trying to cradle the equipment, you know, because she had her camera and then she had a thermal attached to the front of her. So she's trying to do that. I mean, and so there was no effort to like soften the blow at all. She just hit. She hit hard.
I went right down. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I went to the gym today and I did like legs and the booty workout today, and my knee was not very happy. So
The booty workout.
Jesse nerded out so hard. I did.
Yeah, and it's weird because people don't just want to watch like a 45-minute video of us acting like idiots in the woods a lot of times. But it is good for people to see your natural reaction to this stuff sometimes. So,
well, listen, if you are not having fun doing this, if you just are in a constant state of being pissed off about cryptid crap, the cryptids themselves, not getting this, not doing that, the people involved in the whole subject, then stop doing it. Just stop. Just hang up your adventurer's hat and call it a day.
we need adventurer hats. So anyway.
But I'm going to tell you right now, I have a freaking blast doing it. I have a blast doing it. I could not be happier than doing this. I could not be happier than being out in the woods, filming stuff, and then getting to show it to you guys. So I am going to nerd out and I'm going to lose my mind, and you're just going to have to deal with it.
All right. Let's see here.
What the flock says.
What the flock says.
I will send you a sacrificial drone.
It'll get sacrificed more than likely.
I told Joe he's going to have to go into the church ball field and practice his droning.
My dronery.
His dronery. He's going to have to practice his craft because we can't lose another drone like that. So I do have the footage of the drone going down. That might be one of those unreleased videos that go.
Oh boy, not today. Saban, speaking of all the sightings, balloons, a Delta 4 Heavy was launched with a classified payload very recently.
Yeah, cool. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I think it was I was listening to Weaponize. That's Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp's podcast. They were talking about what's going on with this closure and everything. And there's a bill going through Congress right now that if it goes through, it's sort of like it's kind of akin to the whistleblower protection. It's basically saying that if you have access to this equipment and knowledge of these things that have been found, you have a grace period, you can come forward. And I think this is kind of a thing to Lockheed Martin and all them at the same time, you know, just like you guys can come forward, you have a grace period. But well,
see, that's the thing is what else is going to come out during that?
Yeah.
They're looking for UFO stuff. And they're saying if you have anomalous equipment, machinery, materials, basically they're saying now's your time to tell us what secrets you've been holding back without there being any repercussions. What else is going to come out other than like UAP stuff? You know what I'm saying?
know.
Are they going to go, well, we've got some bodies. Are they little gray men? Not exactly. They're not very little and they're not very gray. They're really big and they're really hairy. You know what I'm saying? Where do these things come from? We don't know. Of course, that's the thing is that just because Congress finds out about it doesn't mean we're going to find out.
Yeah.
But I've got a feeling that a lot of people's their horizons are going to be expanded one way or the other.
Yeah.
And this is all said and done. So.
Elizabeth Barr says, I was thinking Joe looked like Gordon Ramsay, especially when swamp gas is brought up.
Oh yeah, trust me.
Joe's heard their Gordon Ramsay thing for years at this point.
Premature gray hair, man. So.
Or the Anderson Cooper.
I used to get that all the time. So Dead End Yard Hunt, $4.99 for the booty workout. So there you go.
Yep.
Making money off the booty workout. Thank you, Dead End Yard Hunt. We appreciate that. Sir. And then that goes right along with, are you going to start a Hellbent hospital fund? We're going to have to probably.
Yeah. I'll be all right. I'll hobble by. Joe cut me a stick. I'm okay. Forget Dogman F hot air balloons.
Yep. All right.
Strange what fears I have.
Marcus is talking about the drones. Get one with user error avoidance. I just need a drone pilot is what I need at this point. Stephen Taylor, our boy Stephen Taylor. Lady Wolf was talking about how she would love to meet us one day. And I said, you better watch out, because we showed up at Stephen Taylor's doorstep unannounced one day and just barged in. What are our gut feeling on the Brown Mountain Lights, natural or supernatural?
Supernatural.
Supernatural. And again, we have gone down the crash course and ball lightning, earthquake lights, all of the ways that the earth can generate up electricity and natural lights. None of it explains what we saw that night. And those orbs are moving against the wind, and they're just constantly, there'll be two, and then one's moving this way and one's moving this way. They're moving independently against the wind. They're not drones unless we've got time travelers with drones, because they've been seen up there for hundreds of years. I don't know. I do know that when we hit them with the flashlight that time, they disappeared. Mm-hmm. So a natural occurrence, me hitting it with a flashlight, is not going to have any effect on it whatsoever. Yeah. So I lean towards it being, when we say something supernatural, that it's something that's not commonly understood at this point. So
it is supernatural.
Supernatural.
Where did we see that? That was on that documentary we watched.
What's that?
Moment of Contact. They said they are supernatural.
All right, I want to talk about that.
Yes.
We had a chance to watch Moment of Contact documentary about Varginha, Brazil, where they had a UFO crash, and then they actually found live and dead aliens down there. Mm-hmm. It's a phenomenal.
Two of the aliens tore through the city running to get away.
They caught him. The guy that handled the one alien, the military police officer, died as a result of a strange bacterial infection.
Yep.
You always hear these very elaborate stories with multiple steps, and you just don't know whether they're true or not. No matter what sort of documentation that the author claims to provide, this dude's on the ground talking to the doctor, talking to the girls that saw the alien, talking to, at this point, there's so many witnesses coming up. I'm just going, this is insane. If you haven't seen it, it's really good. But
it's directed by James Fox, and he had another
The
Phenomenon.
Yeah.
We're gonna watch that. I think we watched that a while back, but I don't remember anything about it. But he did such a great job gathering. And of course, he has UFO investigators that are Brazilian, that are on the ground, who have been working on this for years, and those were his contacts. And they really did such a great job putting together the story, gathering all of these witnesses, and getting independent accounts of everything that happened. And everything lines up with everybody. And it really, really affected all of these people who had contact with the creatures, people who saw the crash, people who saw it happen, people who this really affected these people. It was a really good documentary. So if you guys get a chance.
So what's crazy is that they all talked about the smell of ammonia.
Yeah.
That was around these aliens. The smell of ammonia. There was a very strong ammonia smell. We couldn't get rid of it afterwards. Then there was that Reddit stuff this week, where there was a guy that did an anonymous post on a Reddit, like Are Aliens. He said that he was a molecular biologist that had been employed by the government to do research into EBOs, exobiosphere organisms that were generated outside of our biosphere. And he went on this long drawn out thing talking about it. There's people with biology backgrounds in the discussion trying to stump him, going, hey, this guy knows what he's talking about. Joe Rogan tweeted about it. Let's see here. Gary Nolan came out and made a statement about it, going that he didn't know if it was true or false, but it deserved somebody looking into. One of the things he talked about was the fact that these aliens smelled strongly of ammonia because they expelled waste through their skin. Okay.
Because they don't have an anus.
They don't have an anus. There's no anus there.
Can I interject that there is no anus?
There's no. I made the point that. But he talked about how there was that ammonia smell, and I was just going, well, that's interesting because we just saw that documentary about the ammonia smell. So anyway,
I got some up there if you want to take them.
Shade Viking. I demand that you guys move out in the woods and live there for 3 months, live action, 24/7, boots on the ground. We lived in the woods before we just moved, and we would have periods of nothing happening, and then we would have periods of just all sorts of craziness happening, sometimes even when we're on a live stream. You know?
What's funny though is even if we moved out into the woods and we were out in the woods, like really, really roughing it, couldn't charge our equipment. Couldn't do anything like that.
Yeah.
But if we did that, I'd still find a way to do my liquid eyeliner every
Yes,
day.
indeed. So. West Coast Dogman Project. Good to see you all contribute to the Texas Dogman Triangle book. Yeah, we our friend Aaron Dees wrote that book, and he reached out to us for, I think, just like a little blurb for it, and then it just kind of grew from there. Shane, you've got me at an advantage because I haven't read the whole thing yet, but I think we're in there like 4 or 5 times at this point. Because
I went kind of crazy on the. I think that's where I really went kind of crazy on that Iron Bridge thing.
Iron Bridge Dogman connection. Yeah,
I started making that connection, and then I started plotting all of this stuff with all these sightings on these iron bridges, and I did the whole thing for the iron bridges there with that, and that kind of bled over into what we're doing kind of with the Dogman stuff here. And now when we go to these areas that have Dogman reports, we're finding these iron bridges in the area. So it's really cool to see these correlations kind of repeated in different areas over time. But
yes, we were in there a few times. We were sending him witnesses. One of the witnesses that I think he talked about on your show, maybe, was one of the main ones that he spoke to. So yeah, I mean, Aaron's a good guy, and we are, you meet people. There's a lot of weirdness in this. I don't know if you want to call it a community in this field. Sometimes you just run across people that share your enthusiasm for it. And Aaron's one of those people. Aaron started out very skeptical about the Dogman phenomenon, and that's where we started out at. We were more than skeptical. We kind of scoffed at it, to be honest with you. And then through our own experiences and the witnesses we spoke to, our opinion changed a great deal. And then the same thing happened to Aaron. Aaron went into it going, don't believe it's going on. If anything, it's some dogs that have evolved to stand upright, and we just haven't figured it out yet. To taking the tact of, he thinks that there's something weird going on there, man. There's something weird going on. So now he's like, he's a part of the Dogman cult. He's like, werewolves are real. Yeah. So not much time for it. Joe, do you have other family doing cryptid work? I do not. I'm the black sheep of the black Dogman of the family. So. Mike A., Jesse and Joe, where were you the most freaked out on an expedition? It's going to be either, and you chime in if I don't cover this, it's either going to be Panthertown Valley, but that was, I don't know, Panthertown Valley. Corpsewood Manor was weird. Yeah, for the human element. Yeah, and then where we were at with that Laughing Beast place is like next level. Yeah. It's next level. It's next level weird, and it's going to get super weird there. I can already tell you that. Yeah. So. Yeah. When we do some more Laughing Beast stuff in that particular location, it's going to, I don't know. I'm very apprehensive, but I know we have to do it. I know we have to go there. We have to seek this out. We have to go and face that kind of, I don't want to say it's a fear. It's a fear. We have to kind of face that and do it. We can't just be like, no, it's too scary. We can't do that. But that's just not who we are. That's not who I am. But it's going to get weird. It's going to get weird. Shade Viking, if I was at Brown Mountain, I would have tried to run up and climb that mountain. Then you could film me fall or get beamed up by a light. People have tried to get to where they thought the lights were coming from, and they're always in a different spot. They always are like a step ahead of you at that point. There was some show. What was that show we watched? The guy was doing that. He had somebody up on an overlook. He was like either a British or an Australian guy. He had somebody on 3 different overlooks kind of vectoring him into where they saw the lights at, and then they would move right before he got there on foot. So what the flock wants to know, can you confirm there was no anus, and how exactly did you reach this? He was very specific specific in this. Very specific in it. So very specific about the presence. Ronnie Moore, best lights ever seen. What are you laughing at? What you got? I was just laughing at that comment. I'm very adamant. Grace W asked, do you guys have to get a drone license? We did this before the licensing got real full in effect. Now you have to have a drone beneath a certain weight class. And there you go. This is a crazy comment. We're looking for a flyweight drone. My Uncle Tommy was the officer who entered a crashed UFO at Roswell and carried out one of the injured occupants. He used to tell us about the little people.
Wow.
Whoa. All right.
That's awesome.
If you were still in the chat, was this a recent comment? Yeah, 8:20. This was just 5 minutes ago. Reach out to us. Even if you don't want it shared publicly, that's cool. We hear stuff all the time that we don't share. But that's a crazy story, man. You would probably be the first person I've ever met that had the information is just, removed by one layer. This was somebody you knew personally that was involved in this. We'd love to hear about it if you were willing to share. Marcus Aurelius coming through again, man. Marcus single-handedly carrying us, man. Single-handedly funding this operation.
When you look down and you see one set of footprints, you will know that is the day that Marcus Aurelius carried us
all. So, that's deep. So, did you hear the story of a kid that found a Bigfoot camp area? He saturated the place with ammonia, and the Bigfoot chased him back to his cabin home in the woods and was seriously pissed. I have not heard that. Have you ever heard that?
Well, I mean, when cats mark, that's ammonia. So maybe the Bigfoot thought that was some sort of a marking of territory, and then that was an act of territorial aggression.
Thank you for that, by the way, Marcus. I'm
Yes,
going to drop the comment because it's blocking us out. But we had that lady in North Carolina who claimed that something hairy and aggressive, she was calling it a dogman, but we never found out, was marking around her house, and it smelled really bad. And she said it was doing it to challenge her. She had big dogs, remember?
Yeah.
We were up there trying to use UV light to see if we could find
I think that's why we got the UV light.
That is why we got the UV light.
We were going to do some crime scene investigation. We're going to look for the pee is what we're going to do. We're going to look for the pee. That dogman pee. The pisky. Dogman pisky.
Jesus.
Oh, I'm so hungry. All right.
Not today. So I sent Saban that post on Reddit, and he immediately spiraled into some sort of weird existential crisis at that point, going, "Oh my Lord." As soon as I saw it, I copied it and then went over just going, "You've got to stop what you're doing right now and go read this." So,
prepare yourself.
So Ghetto Yeti, have you heard of the Colores, Brazil UFO incident where people were being injured by some type of weapons, shot energy beams and lasers? That whole, it's like the southeastern portion of Brazil, all that stuff's happened at. And it's crazy.
Didn't Jacques Vallée have those materials that came from that lake in Brazil?
Yeah, there's been metamaterials that have been. Brazil's weird. Brazil has a huge UFO history, and then Brazil has a ton of werewolf and dogman stuff. He might be in our chat right now, but we had that musician from Brazil that was emailing us all about his family's experiences down in the village that he was from.
Yeah.
That the village would basically go on lockdown at night sometimes. They'd have armed guards out because there were wolf-like creatures, lobrazones, coming out of the...
Lobrazones?
Lobrazones.
Lobrazones?
Yep. Lobrazones. So, Bigfoot Michigan Rom's in the chat. Hello, Bigfoot Michigan Rom. We're all over the place today.
My friend is Colombian. I'll have to ask him if there's any kind of Colombian incidents that he's aware of.
Paul M has got an idea. That would be a good plan for a group of researchers. Alternate a week each for an extended period in a base camp. Say in the LBO. Continuous investigations over 6 months. See what's found. That would be great. It's finding the people to do that, and then it's finding the people that would be okay enough to work with each other.
Yeah.
And you would need, if say Jesse and I were in there for a week, and then we would get out and we would go, okay, here's what we have found so far. This area seems to be active. This is the stuff that we're experiencing. This is the equipment we used. The people behind us would probably just go, I ain't doing that. This is where I want to focus on. There's a lot of individuality in this field, and that's a good thing sometimes, but then for long-term stuff like that, it's a bad thing. So.
Yeah.
Terry Markand, becoming a huge fan. I've spent the last nights watching all your videos. I appreciate that.
That's awesome.
What's weird is that Brown Mountain video wasn't your best performing video ever, but it's it opened us up to a new crowd of people. You know what I'm saying? So thank you for that, Terry. We appreciate that.
Yes. We're going to go ahead and do this. Knives out. Danny Mitchell would like a knife check.
I took mine off, so.
The Hellbent Holler knife check, everyone.
I'm actually rocking a giant fixed blade.
Is that the one you just put the different grips on?
Yeah, it's just because I was just putting the handles on it not too long ago. I've got an SE6, but I've got one of the ones with the clip point on it.
Mhm.
So it's sharp on both ends up towards the
The
tip.
SE6 is way too big for my hand.
It's awesome. So I got some new grips on it. So I was actually messing with that.
Early on in my hiking and cryptid hunting career, I would carry 2 of these. For no rhyme or reason, I guess, was it?
Mm-hmm.
But I have a SE3. And we referred to me as 2 SE Jesse, but that is my custom handled SE3 that I've got there. These are outdoor knives, but because of the coating on the blade, you can't use it with a fire starter. So removed a bit of that coating back there. So now I can use it with the fire starter. This is usually the knife that I carry on my chest rig out in the field. And I've got a custom sheath for it, but it straps onto my chest rig. But yes, that is my SE3. 2 SE Jesse.
NCOP. Avi Loeb finds fragments in the Pacific Ocean from a 2014 asteroid unmatched in our solar system. He found some wire, non-magnetic wire, that had some unique molecular properties, and it had been caught on his magnet. Something magnetic had pinned it to the magnet, so he was able to pull it up.
That's
and then
luck.
he found some very small, not microscopic, but extremely small, like orb type things of like a strange material. I saw that, but I don't know enough right now, North Central Ohio, that was in the, I'll be honest with you, that was in the news, and then I got caught up on that damn Reddit thread. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
when that just got on, so I have not looked into that as much as I possibly should. So
Alan Lassiter says Cliff Simon done a show about the Brown Mountain. I think it was Cliff Simon. That sounds like a British name.
I think that's the dude, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a very British name. Cliff Simon.
Paul M. was more worried for my catalytic converter at Corpsewood Manor than for myself. That is the exact thing that we said, is that I looked at Jesse and I just went, we need to go and just call this. We just drove, 3 hours to get here. And I know we had all these plans, but our vehicle's going to get disabled if we stay. That's literally the exact same thing that I said to her. I said, we're going to be up here. And yeah, that's cool. We've got a personal locator beacon and a satellite texter. We'll get help. We're normal people, man. That's still our car. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's still our car. I mean, we now do not have a vehicle, to get back home, and we've got to get this vehicle out of the mountains. And that's been the one place that I was like, the people are what I'm worried about up here at this point, in addition to all the other stuff, the shady stuff that the people are up to up there. Lady Wolf talking about, see, she was one of the ones who heard the stuff with headphones on that Laughing Beast video.
Oh, yeah. Gosh. Take Two Wheels had a good suggestion. Was it last week or the week before? We were talking about Laughing Beast. There's that low frequency tone or whatever it is we keep hearing on there.
Yeah.
He had a great suggestion that we play that and see if we get some sort of response back from it.
Yeah,
so I wanted to throw him some kudos on that. We're trying that out, and we're going to see how that works out for us.
Today, Saban, they're talking about the aliens that were in that Reddit post. They were talking about how they didn't eat solid food. They thought they used a very specialized form of liquid nourishment for them, and that they didn't. That's how they expelled their waste. They just expelled it through their skin because there wasn't a lot of solid waste. Yeah. And they also, that lended credence to the theory that these were not, they're biological, but they're basically biological constructs. They're made for a specific purpose, and they're pretty much disposable. So like biological machines. And that's part of the reason why, because you always hear, well, if we had bodies, they'd come get them. You're putting a human kind of like take on that, because humans will usually go in and try to retrieve, especially like in a wars, Black Hawk Down. They were out looking for the bodies. You know what I'm saying? You know, they weren't going to leave without them. What if these are just basically the alien equivalent of Dixie cups, and they're just meant to be disposable? And if they can get them back, they get them back. If not, they don't really sweat it. So, but it was kind of, what goes against that, watching that documentary over the weekend, that the creature had fear. So the creature had fear. It had, and that was different, because it definitely said that they felt fear coming off the creature, that it was distressed. You kind of felt sorry for him when you got right down to it. The description from that guy that was on Reddit is exactly the description of the creature in Moment of Contact. It's the shape of the foot,
the description of the skin, like everything like lined up with that. Danny Kopic says, Jesse and Joe, any comments on the Skinwalker Ranch
We haven't really
series?
seen it. We've read the books, both the Hunt the Skinwalker and then Skinwalker at the Pentagon. Skinwalker at the Pentagon's got all those little tidbits about upright wolf-like creatures that we found extremely interesting. We haven't really had to, other than I went up and looked a few clips up on YouTube after people were telling us that some of the RF signals that we were picking up matched what they were getting at Skinwalker Ranch. So I've seen some of the...
We've just seen the stuff that pertains to the research
Yeah,
that we're
and
doing.
just the free clips that they put online for it then. But I hear that this season has been... It's gotten beyond just it's like they sucked you in with like the reality show aspect of it. And now they're hitting you with like legit research now that they've like baited the trap for people to watch at this point. Buddy Steve Causey's in the chat. Thank you, Steve.
Shade Viking says, do you guys do any type of ritual or type of thing you always do before setting out on a mission? We
gear check,
check
GPSs,
the gear argument
about what we're going to take and what we're going to need. And then that is later on followed by the argument gloating about which one of us was right at that point, or which one who wanted to bring a piece of equipment that we don't have and now need. And then we need to remind the other one continually for the rest of the night how the investigation would have been so much different if you had just listened to me.
You would have brought that piece of equipment.
So that happens. We run 2 independent GPS units, and then we have Garmin GPS watches that we use to track that if all else fails, we can use them. When we were in Panthertown, we had like 2 GPS units go out. These were like more basic Garmin units.
Yeah. That was early on.
Now we've got a Garmin, it's like a 64 ST, and then we've got the Garmin InReach Mini, and then we run 2 Garmin watches. So there's always that. It's gear argument. Set the GPSs, send a message out to the people who monitor our progress to let them know that we're getting ready to start, that we're on location. Last minute argument about equipment.
Yeah.
And then off we go.
In terms of a ritual, I have done a protection ritual. If you want to go in that direction of things, I have done a protection ritual on some of our weaponry that we have, our Glock 10 millimeters for sure.
Martin Groves gave us 10 millimeter ammunition that's been blessed by a priest and dipped in holy water. So we got that.
And there's also, if you're dealing with any kind of supernatural entity that could possibly be demonic in any kind of way, you really want to, or dark, or psychic vampire type stuff, which you're getting into some really esoteric territory here. Just basic grounding rituals, you can do that. But that's going kind of into the occult direction of things and not necessarily the equipment and practical, gear sort of side of things. So,
David Hunt, what's your opinions on that lady saying she saw the reptilian? I don't know. I will tell you this though, that watching people argue about that online
is more entertaining than anything
how
else.
people have gotten like it's a personal affront to some people that people think something weird happened. People take a great deal of offense that how dare you think that there's a possibility of anything beyond just a drunk woman on a plane. And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I'm going, y'all are the ones that supposedly believe in this stuff and you're coming down hard on people. I don't know.
She did at one point do a as above, so below with her fingers. So you know what? Illuminati confirmed. She wasn't doing the Help and Holler symbol though.
No, not the Help and Holler.
She wasn't doing the gang sign.
That would be awesome.
Thank goodness.
That would be awesome if like one of our diehard like chat members just went batshit on a plane. You know what I'm saying? Was in there screaming about Help and Holler. Everybody's like Googling, what is Help and Holler? Oh, it's these weirdos in South Carolina.
Talking about Panthertown.
Tell them, Dooster, you hit the like button, y'all. Come on, man. What are y'all doing? Killing ourselves here for you. Jesse's falling on mountains.
I am falling off of mountains. Thank goodness I didn't fall off of the Brown Mountain overlook thing there. Wiseman's overlook. Erev is composing. Jesus. Erev says, I'm composing a cryptid theme album. Very rough beginning stages, but there are a few songs are there. I am here for this. I'm ready for this.
Our buddy Cryptid runs Cryptid Response. When Jesse did you did that Help and Holler rap, want to be a baller?
Yeah.
Help and Holler, run around, or something like that. I get up the next day and he's like written like just lines of like rap, Help and Holler rap going, if I do this whole thing, you guys have got to Got to do it.
I can record it.
Knives on a chest rig. Yeah, she's got a chest rig with Molly on the front of it. That knife's got real good retention. If that
Yeah,
knife, if she hits hard enough for that knife to come out, she's gonna have
The
more
sheath
worries.
is it's an Armitage carry Kydex sheath. So yeah, that sucker's in there, and I can mount my fire starter, my fire steel down here too. So it's pretty awesome.
Roger Claiborne talking about the Abbey Loeb spheres were meteorites over 50,000 tons hit Earth every day. Yeah, I knew that there was some debate on that. So, but I'm not educated enough at this point to put an opinion out on there, but I know that there was stuff out there either way talking about whether it was like legit stuff or not legit stuff.
Alan Lassiter says, has there been any sightings of Skinwalker down here or in North Carolina? That's kind of funny you asked that, because did you get that text I sent you of that screen cap from next door? I love Nextdoor because it's the most unhinged. The people that live around you are the most, you think that this whole cryptid thing is crazy and these people involved in cryptozoology and looking into paranormal stuff are crazy. The craziest individuals live around you right now, and they're all on nextdoor.com. So I sent this screen cap to Joe. This is actually near us. So go ahead and read.
This is near us?
This is near us. That's why I sent it to you.
Warning, 3 exclamation marks. Skinwalkers spotted in stone cottages. Where are the stone cottages at?
I don't know. I'm going to find them.
Skinwalkers spotted in stone cottages. These creatures are not to be trifled with. Speed, unknown. Size, unknown. The unholy offspring of shape-shifting and death itself. Never engage this creature. If you see one, hide and pray it does not find you. I'm going to go find like skinwalkers now.
Nextdoor delivers.
There's some shapeshifter type legends from around here. There's shape-shifting witches that are listed as being around here. So there's definitely Skinwalker usually associate with like Navajo, like out further west, but there are shape-shifting like legends from around here. There was that shapeshifter that we were running around that was seen in that parking lot where his arms snaked through the wheel.
Yeah, we did look for that, and it was a doll, not a dog, as we've learned. So let's issue the correction on that one. We haven't been back to that spot.
James Mackle, hello, sir.
I just started one. Where the heck is it? Oh, Jesus. Susan Chrisman says, have any silver bullets?
I do not. Working silver bullets. How much are those running for right now?
Ooh.
They're like, how much were those going for? Minuteman Ammunition was doing them. $150 per round.
Woof.
So
Werewolf Defense Line.
Yeah.
We're in the wrong business. All right.
We carry extremely bright lumen flashlights. We're a little bit of a flashlight nuts.
We're a flashlight rich family.
Yeah, we have a box of flashlights. Hartgrove's of 10mm blessings.
Rob S. said, have you seen the Plaid Men lately?
No, not since whatever we saw at
Panthertown
that time. So
thank goodness.
Yeah, I'm not down for that.
We've had a visit from the FBI, but they were not the Men in Black.
Mm-hmm. All right, what do we got? A lot of talk about ammunition.
Since we have a little downtime here where we're looking here through the chat, make sure you guys hit that like button. If you've not hit that like button, now is the perfect opportunity to take that little finger, go over there and just touch it. Just get a little touch.
Our buddy South Force 10 has popped in. We're doing a lot of channel promos tonight, man, but South Force has got if you like our stuff, you're going to like his stuff.
Yeah.
So he's got he is a wellspring of information for this part of the South. Great stuff. We were talking about earlier about how a lot of times people in these like small mountainous communities won't talk to outsiders. Well, you got one there with South Force that's willing to share some of the stuff that he's like come across. So he's got a phenomenal channel. So
April Black says next door people are off the chain here in Florida too. I bet you got the Florida next door. That's next level next door right there. Next level. Did you do Marcus Aurelius? No. Marcus Aurelius, thank you for that, sir. Dogman is prevalent in North Carolina and South Carolina, especially around swampy areas. What's the spot price on silver today?
Let me see if I can do a, hold on. Let me see about cent.
Oh, I have to tell you something. We collect change in a big jar. I went and cashed in change today because it's Prime Day, and I got an Amazon gift card for it. I found this coin that got rejected out. Obviously, it's about the size of a quarter. It's weird. It's got this like flaming angel on both sides of it.
Where's
it's
it
an
at?
old coin. It's in my fanny pack.
There we go, Marcus. $149.99 for one bullet. So it is pretty pricey.
Yeah.
So pretty pricey.
Let's see. Ryan Holloway says, do y'all know if anything would bring things to you like an EM pump or something like that? Or is that just for ghosts? So we have experimented with an EM pump. We built an EM pump, like a massive EM pump. And we've experimented. You got it? We've experimented with it. We're still kind of knocking the dirt off of it a little bit and trying to work out the kinks.
Work in progress. But our idea, Brian, was that we kept going into these areas. We would have equipment drain. Everything would get drained. Equipment's, like the cameras, the flashlights, just the handheld equipment and all that. Same thing you're talking about. So if there's something there that is attracted to EM, electromagnetic energy, we were like, can we draw it in or can we strengthen it? Kind of like what ghost hunters do, But what we do is we've got these boxes. Kill that comment for me so I can
kill it. Hang on. Give me a second. It's going. Go for it.
We've got four little EM generators, 2 per box here. So we've got this to actually take out and
fired up. You can hear it and it's very weird and it generates an electromagnetic field. And
it basically knocks our equipment out, like our sensor tech equipment when we try to do it. Jesus.
Oh yeah.
But our idea is that we can either strengthen something or draw something in.
I was doing an Estes session. My friend Katie and I like to do ghost stuff together. And we were doing a thing in this abandoned house, and I was doing an Estes session. We sat me down, blindfolded me, put on the noise canceling headphones, spirit box, the whole 9 yards for the Estes session, and we fired that thing up. And it went from the responses we were getting went from like here to here. They got real weird, real fast as soon as we fired up that EM pump. So I noticed a marked difference of the responses we were getting once we fired that up. We really drew something crazy in.
So the current idea with this, and we've mentioned this briefly, so it's not like we're sharing anything crazy, but we're going to have these 4 electromagnetic pumps going. The 2 things you always hear about is that there's some sort of equipment drain. So they're either feeding off of it, they're attracted to it, whatever. All right, so let's set this kind of beacon out for them in the dark and see what we can draw in. So we've got that. We've experimented with it a few times. In like a paranormal ghost type setting, we have gotten activity from it. But my goal is can we draw something physical in with it that we can possibly catch? So we're fine tuning this. We got a couple other things we're going to add to it to see if we can kind of sweeten the pot there a little bit to get some stuff in for it. So you will see that in
Teresa Wilkins. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Abnormal Investigations has stopped by. Hello, Stephen. Hello, Stephen.
So what do we got here? Dun, 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 dun.
You can hear my little tummy going on.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Ghetto Yeti talking about ace beam flashlights. Yeah, the ones we've got, we're using Phoenixes right now. I've got it's one of those like weird, like Chinese product names, Kukos or something. That's like an 8,000 lumen spotlight. If you watch the Brown Mountain Lights video, that's the thing that I shine that just looks like a lightsaber shooting into the mountains. That's what made the lights shut off. So, so there we go. Rick Egan asking.
Oh shit! Sorry.
What's that? So
Mark Koenig says with silver plated work. That's for the cryptozoologist on a budget.
Yeah, exactly. So
go ahead.
Rick Egan asks, is it just the 2 of you there? I'm assuming you mean on investigations. Yeah, it's just the 2 of us.
Yep.
go in just the two of us. We try to film everything. We try to share our experiences with it, but we don't really have anybody else. It's just us. So Drew popping in here.
James Mackey says, has anyone ever tried to replicate infrasound and broadcast it that you know of?
So what you have to deal with is commercial grade audio stuff. Both recorders and let's just call them speakers are made to capture and reproduce sound in the human hearing range, right? So if you get like really expensive like subwoofers and stuff like that, you can get below 20 hertz. Okay. There is a project going on right now to make a homemade infrasound generator. Let me see if I can find it. And it ain't small. It ain't small at all. It is... This will give you an idea of how difficult it is to try to generate this stuff. And then if you're going to try to do it in the field.
There's a interesting follow-up to it. While you're looking at that, this is a total diversion, but yeah, go ahead.
But it's a 55-gallon drum with the associated just apparatus with it. I'm sure that there's somebody working on something smaller at this point. We've toyed around with some ideas, and you've even seen we saw it on like Ghost Adventures or something like that, didn't we?
Yeah.
They were going, we're generating infrasound.
They
and
weren't.
Like, now you're generating like low sound, but
Yeah.
you're not generating infrasound. But that's something, another thing I want to try. I want to try to get out and try to generate up infrasound in some of these areas to see what we can draw in, to see what sort of reaction we have to that. So, all right, what was that one you were going to?
I've lost it. Oh, here we go. Mike A says, James Mackey, did you hear about the rap concert? A bunch of teens died a couple years ago. I wonder if they blasted infrasound
Is that
below.
the one they were claiming like ritual was going
Yes,
on during? So
that was the one that there's a lot of weird conspiracies surrounding that it was some sort of like Illuminati ritual or a satanic ritual, and that those kids were sacrifices so that that rapper could ascend to the next level in his satanic cult.
God, the world's a dark place.
So there you go. Grace W says that Estes session y'all did around Halloween was wild. Yes, it was. We did use that around Halloween, didn't we?
Kiki Cookerson, they're a Dogman in South Carolina, just moved here. Yeah, it's
you should have gotten the information in your welcome packet
from the Welcome Center. But there are reports of Dogman stretching. Yeah, there's reports. There's a strip that goes through North Carolina that crosses the border, then just comes into South Carolina at that point. So,
Travis Scott concert.
Yes.
There you go. Yes, it was a sacrifice. Yes. All right. Correct.
I'm gonna hit Dogman with that brown note.
Get your pooper scooper.
Yep.
A lot of anuses and pooper scoopers today.
Yeah, we're getting kind of out there on the show
Getting
here.
a little brown hair. Getting a little blue here.
Andrea has a comment. She goes, infrasound and portals are two very different things, but do portals emit infrasound? Would portals cause? We don't know what portals cause. Everything's theoretical at this point. Obviously, it seems that they, and I can see not today, Saban just out there right now, fingers typing furiously. They may emit things that are in the visible, like electromagnetic range. They might emit infrasound. We don't know at this point. All right, let's see what we got.
I'll try not to let it count him.
You were I was talking about, it's all more connected than you'd think. That's where we are currently leaning towards, my friend. That is where we are currently leaning towards. It's funny because not today, Spawn, something about the brown note. That was one of the things that made me start kind of questioning infrasound and the effects that it has on people's bodies. It has effects, but some of the more extreme effects that people report, because people have tried to replicate that brown note, and to this point, nobody's replicated it. And I think it was Mythbusters or something like that that just really cranked it out. I mean, they put a lot of Brown note is.
You said a brown note?
Yeah, talking about the brown note.
Oh.
I'm trying to remember where it is below 20 hertz. I can't remember the exact. But anyway, Mythbusters did a episode where they just did a.
What happens if you play the brown note and you've got one of those aliens with no anuses around?
They just explode or something?
What's going to happen?
That's a good question. So
we're going to need one of those.
Egan said that he saw a third shadow. Asked if it was just the two of us here.
What?
If you have a timestamp on that so we can look at it afterwards. We had that happen recently. Our buddy Kyle that does Encrypted Connections, I was talking to him on the phone one night on like a FaceTime type video, and he was just like, and I'm like, what's wrong with you? And he goes, is there somebody there with you? And I'm like, don't shut up, man. Don't do
God,
that
I hope
to me.
not.
And then he was like, do you have a mannequin in that room? I saw somebody behind you. And I'm going, what? So
Joe's mannequin collection.
yeah. All right, let's see what we got.
Life 1042 says Mythbusters are Illuminati disinformation stooges.
It might be true, man. So
Truth.
Special Delivery 57's got a great point. There are nearly an infinite amount of unknowns, and I just keep an open mind irrespective of what I've found out on my own. It kind of ties into one of my things I always like to say is people are like, don't try to explain one unknown with another unknown. And I'm like, why not? If you have ruled out the known as being an explanation for that unknown, then maybe another unknown element is responsible for it or tied into it.
I swear this comes up every week. Wild captures. What do you guys use for tick repellent? I like permethrin by Sawyer. We have cats, so we can't use permethrin. We use Maxi Deet. That's a Sawyer product, right?
Mm-hmm.
We use Jungle Juice, and then the other Sawyer one that is not permethrin. But we kind of layer them up, to be honest with you, because after the incident at the LBL with the
incident,
the seed tick incident, we layer up on bug spray.
Matt J was talking about, I saw a YouTube short of a very convincing looking dog man. Could be AI though. At this point, you can't really trust anything you see. You know what I'm saying? And at this point, if people look at us and go, it's just AI, I'm going to have to go, can't fault you for thinking that, you know? That's kind of why we're looking into our night vision setup is we want to try to run 2 independent cameras. I figure one AI generated image people put out is one thing. If you have 2 separate angles of the same thing, but you have it from 2, angles with 2 different cameras, maybe that's a little bit more believable at that point. So
you're still going to have.
Yeah, but at least, at least it's going to rule out because soon it's going to be just anybody with like 5 minutes in front of a computer is going to be able to turn out an extremely convincing image.
Haters will say it's Photoshop. Ricky Egan says it was when you had that black box out. Seriously? That is not comforting. Great. See, now, have we ever turned that on in this house?
We have never turned that on in here. So,
no. Nope.
Marcus really is. Thank you again. Damn, Marcus is carrying us, man.
Marcus is
carrying us. Marcus, thank you. Thank you so much. Infrasounds are well documented from cryptids and certain well-known predators that exist to this day. All that started back in Muggenthaler. There was a bioacoustician by the name of Muggenthaler that
Muggenthaler sounds fun at parties.
Yeah, Muggenthaler. She's got some work on a thing called acoustics.org, which is where I go to nerd out. And it's like around 2000, 2001, something like that. And talked about how tigers might use it. It's hard to get a fair assessment of what infrasound can or can't do because it's all been politicized at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Because people either want wind farms in their area or they do not want wind farms in their area, and they use infrasound as an argument both for and against it. So when you're looking at a scientific forum and you're trying to look into the acoustic section and you're trying to look up about stuff about infrasound, and there's people on there calling other people wind deniers, you're a wind denier.
Well, that's not nearly as bad as an orb denier.
No, yeah, orb deniers I can't stand those people. But When it starts getting into like these emotional attacks, science is bad at that point. So it's hard to, you have to wade through a lot of stuff to go through for infrasound at this point. So dun, dun, dun. Let's see what we got. I've seen some E-Rev. I've seen some recent YouTube Dogman vids. I'm on the fences with any of it being real. The AI things and just indifference to any truth being genuinely shared. At this point, if it's just a 5-second clip on TikTok, probably not going to believe it. The TikTok. But if it is part of a longer video, and especially if it's shot from 2 angles, and that's what we're going to try to go for, what we're running into a problem with is in the area where Jesse took a dive at, we're only going to be able to run 1 camera there. We're going to have 1 person on a camera, probably a full spectrum camera because it's smaller, and 1 person on a thermal imager. So
problem with a thermal imager, especially in the summer, is
everything is hot.
Everything's hot, but the vegetation is so thick
yep.
that your images are just not great. I mean, something could be hiding behind a bunch of vegetation. You're not going to see it. You'll see tiny little bits and pieces of it if it's if we can see it through that. The vegetation is so thick in these areas are insane. I mean, it's insane. You can't see 8 feet in front of you sometimes. And the thermal imager is only going to do so much. Even though it is the great equalizer, it can only do so much.
Today, Saban putting us down the rabbit hole on indigo wavelengths and Isaac Newton. I don't know anything about that, so I just typed it in to have it bookmarked. But later, what's eventually going to happen is that for all of these social media, Dogman, Bigfoot, Ghost, Rake, all of this stuff, it's a 20-second clip of anything's not going to be believable anymore.
Right.
Whether we present it, whether anybody presents it, And I guess you would have to look at you'd have to look at the context in which it's delivered. If somebody just has a TikTok and they go, wow, check out this Dogman I captured, guys. It's legit real. And then 5 seconds later, they're posting another TikTok about something else. It ain't real. All right.
No cap. For real. For real.
No cap. But if you see somebody going, you guys aren't going to believe what I just found. This is the craziest thing ever. No, really, listen to me. I caught a Dogman, on camera. I'm getting a group of people. We're going to go back out there together to try to see if we can film it. Everything's going to have some context to it, to whether it's believable or not at that point. So
Use Television asks, is there anything that you know of that can suppress, bend, or change the form of light rays?
Well, I mean, stuff can bend light, obviously. You see, and stuff can do that. I know what you're talking about. The closest thing you're talking about, used televisions, is going to be what people refer to as that predator effect. When people see
that glimmer,
the bipedal figures that seem to have that hazy kind of see-through translucence to them, where it just seems almost like you're looking through a heat wave at the top of a hot road at that point.
Here's a cheery thought. Ricky Egan says, the only way I would believe it is they cut it open to see what's on the inside. All right.
There we go.
There you have it, everybody. James Mackey says, really like your channel. I just retired and do some research in southeastern Oklahoma. Interesting area. I'm still catching up on your older videos. Take care. Well, welcome to Hellbent Holler. I hope that you will become a Hellbender yourself. Southeastern Oklahoma is a really cool and creepy area when it comes to cryptid phenomenon. So you are in for a fun time.
All right. Let's see what we got here. Dun, dun, dun.
Somebody's talking about vegan sausages. I'm starving to death right now.
High gravity fields bend light in space-time. I figured Saban would be going crazy about that right now. So,
well, the flock says if it bleeds,
we can kill it. Oh yeah. So what else do we want to cover this week as we're kind of hitting towards the home stretch here?
We hit on
so let's talk about we talked a little bit earlier about the area that we're researching where you took the spill at.
Yes.
We're gonna have a video coming out this week of the daytime portion of it. We found some pretty cool stuff over there.
Yes, we did. We got 2 very nice footprints.
Yeah, we got one of them is really nice.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we don't find a lot of stereotypical Bigfoot prints. This area might change that. So
yeah, so we found those, and what puts us at an advantage when it comes to the footprints in that video that we're putting out is the soil here. So in the upstate of South Carolina, we have a lot of red clay mud, and it's nightmarish and terrible if you want to plant grass or if you go swimming in Hartwell Lake or anything like that. But if you want to get a good footprint, it's perfect. So we got a couple of really cool footprints in this video. I'll be releasing that on Wednesday. So keep an eye out for that video on Wednesday. That's going to be the daytime portion of that investigation. But it's a return to the dark corner. So we're going to be in the dark corner, just like we were in that previous video that we put out a couple weeks ago. But it's maybe a couple miles away from that location. But we're kind of combing those woods for these old road beds and these old paths that go through there. That was an area that was traveled frequently back in the 1700s, 1800s. That used to be basically the frontier. Long ago, that was basically the frontier. There's a place called a Coney Station that's in that general area that was basically like a makeshift fort in a way, and that was at the frontier between the white settlers, the European settlers, and the Cherokee and Catawba that were in that area originally. So that's a very charged area. It's very interesting. There's a lot of history there. It's very wild. A lot of that area has really gone back to the forest. So we went through and we're in a kind of a wild area, but we take a cool little, it turns out to be like an old road. So we take that and you get to see kind of like a daytime investigation before we gear up for night and go into that. But we'll also have that included after. So
Ken Palazzo, what do you do to protect yourself from possible radiation exposure? We have gotten out of the woods before and checked ourselves with Geiger counters. That's happened on a couple of occasions. And I keep some iosats, potassium iodide tablets that you would do to keep radiation from going into your thyroid. That's part of we've got like a general purpose equipment case that usually goes with us that has like spare batteries, emergency food. Those are in there just in case. We have never walked out of anywhere and had elevated levels of radiation coming off of us.
When we did the Burning Light episode, we got out of there. My face was hot. You know?
Yeah, we both had some weird skin stuff, but we didn't register as having residual radiation. Bucky Anonymous, are you going to be at Monster Fest 2? I don't think so as it stands right now. I don't think
Not
so.
as it is right now.
As it stands right now, I don't believe we are.
I think we're only committing to going to conventions and conferences that I'm actually speaking at, because we have a lot of work to do. We like to focus on our work. We like to focus on
time consuming.
Yeah, so. It takes a lot of time and money to go to these conferences, and we got a lot of work to do. We like to spend that on equipment, and we like to spend that time out in the woods. So unless I'm appearing and speaking at one of these conferences, I don't think we're going to them. Joseph?
There we go. April Black, the Black Triangle property. Is he still experiencing high strangeness? He is experiencing a ton of high strangeness right now. A ton of high strangeness right now. Yeah, he still has stuff going on. It's a little overwhelming. It's very overwhelming to him.
Yeah.
What's going on at this point? So, Jones said Farm said shocked to stumble across stereotypical Bigfoot footprint. We found one really good one that was. It's pretty big. And then we found up in Georgia, we found bear footprints that was broader, but they weren't that big. They were like my size. I'm a size 12 and below. The one that we found, the really good one that we found this week, was a little bit bigger than my footprint, but broad. Toes were splayed out. And then we found what appeared to be smaller ones, but they didn't. The one that we find on the red clay is in there deep. I mean, it's in there deep. The edges are crisp. It looks great. Jesse, you can actually, she knocks on the ground next to it, and it sounds like just like me hitting this tabletop right now. The smaller ones didn't make as deep as an imprint, so they were a little bit more washed away from the rain. but it was just wild because we don't usually find stuff like that. So David Hunt, I've lost faith in 99% of every channel in the Bigfoot Dogman communities. All you see is the same old stuff and the same old excuses. It is hard to do this stuff. There are other people out kind of like beating the brush like we are trying to find it, but it's hard, man. I mean, we have what we try to, the whole purpose of this channel was to try to elevate it beyond another campfire story.
Yeah.
Another story of like, this happened, but I have nothing to show you for it. Somebody had mentioned earlier that they like it when we're able to kind of show them what we're experiencing. And that's the whole goal of this. That's why we've got all this like equipment. That's why we have all these different cameras and audio recorders. Even with all that and even going out looking for it, it's difficult to capture sometimes. And that's just the long and the short of it. So that's why when people go, everybody's got a cell phone, why are there no more photos? I don't know, man. I had a camera ready to go and I missed it. You know, I could see where somebody taking out their cell phone, screen protector, type in your passcode, open your camera, try to get it focused. Oh, it's gone. I never got it. So,
yeah,
but I do know what you're talking about, man. It's difficult. And it's, you know, we were talking about Black Mass earlier, Black Mass Paranormal, you know, he does a good job. There's other channels that are out there doing this stuff right now. So
Joey Sweet says, man, I just joined and I thought Jess was cheating on Joe. Joe shaved. It looks totally different. Are you on the run? It's so hot.
It's so hot, man.
He had to
go.
He had to let the beard go.
Had to go.
It is just so hot. I've made a joke. I was like, I'm going to come on the live stream and say that I fired you.
This
and
is his replacement.
Hired your younger brother.
Bro, yeah. Arcane Discovery saying the same thing. Joe shaved. Yep. Yeah.
You've had a beard for years, huh?
Yeah, yeah. What the flock says, have you ever seen that Bigfoot footage from a tree stand a girl put out from her grandfather after he passed away? Very compelling, but as expected, blurry and grainy. No, I have not. If you want to throw it up in the chat, if you got it, or send it to us by link, we will check it out.
Deucer of Cryptids and Critters Paranormal says, y'all still going to the Tennessee Wildman CryptidCon in October?
We are doing that.
We are, yes. We are absolutely doing that because I am speaking at that conference. That's going to be in mid-October at Montgomery Bell State Park in Tennessee. So if you guys are able to come out, that would be amazing. I'd love to see all of our Hellbenders there, as many Hellbenders as possible. It's a beautiful state park. There's a lot of really cool legends in the area, and the lodge is beautiful. It's on a lake. So if you guys get the opportunity to come out to Montgomery Bell State Park in October to come and see me speak, I would really, really, really enjoy that. And I have the rare opportunity to also be on the bill with the man himself, Ron Moorhead.
Ron Moorhead.
So you get a double dose of a wonderful treat. You get me and Ron Moorhead. So come on out. Come on down to the Tennessee Wildman.
Jay had talked about it. Wish y'all would do an overnight camping trip in one of these places and give us updates throughout the night. Be curious to see what might show up. We generally, when we are out in these places, we are up all night and then sleep during the day. And that ain't happening in the summertime. But when we are usually out there, we have to watch out too, because we don't like showing our tent. So that way, I mean, you have to, it's paranoia, I know, but I don't want to like have somebody see our tent and then go, all right, they're going to be out at, you know, this particular national forest this weekend. I'm going to go out there and cruise, see if I can find their tent, hoax them.
Yeah.
And then they come away thinking, you won't believe the footage we captured. And then they go, aha, we hoaxed you the whole time.
Yeah.
We would do that too if any of these spots had cell signal. Our friend Steve Causey made us a cell booster that we used at that property that we live streamed from. And but you need some signal in order to boost it. So we might, if we can find a spot to stream from where we have that laughing beast reported out, we might try to stream from there. I don't know. They say that the cell signal is spotty in there. For us, it was non-existent. We couldn't find anywhere that had any signal at all.
Yeah, so. But if we can get one, we will give it a go. Shade Viking says, who came up with the name Hellbent Holler? I did. Let me take my ring off here. My knuckles say hell. There we go. Aha! My knuckles say Hellbent. I've had that tattoo for how old am I now? 35?
Yeah.
I've had that tattoo for 12 years.
Okay.
About 12 years. But I had the tattoo before I came up with Hellbent Holler. I just came up with it because my knuckles say Hellbent. And
Alan Lasser wants to know, we're going to Westminster this year. No, we don't. We're kind of the odd people out for the Carolina Bigfoot crew. Yeah, no, I don't foresee us ever being invited to take part in Westminster.
I don't see them inviting us to.
Yeah, I don't really see them inviting us for Westminster.
No.
Matter of fact, I'm going to share this story. I don't care. A friend
ahead.
of Jesse's is like, oh, a relative of mine is involved with the Westminster Bigfoot thing. I shared your work with them. They're probably going to invite you. And then it was just like, oh yeah, they're not going to invite.
I told her, I was like, yeah, they're not
going to invite us. Trust me. So
yeah, they're big like BFRO types.
And we get out there, we're open to some weird stuff. So
yeah, so we're not usually welcome in those circles.
You're not welcome here.
You are not welcome here. Arcane Discoveries 423 says, don't remember if y'all said yes or no to this, but are y'all going to the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Conference?
Don't know. Some friends of ours are going to be there. We're looking into it. I just don't know if we're going to be able to swing it. That's up in the air at this point. But if we do go, we're going to be pretty low key. Sneak in, say hey to everybody.
You can't pick us out of a crowd. That's for sure.
Exactly.
We don't stand out at all. It's not the girl with the blue hair. Well, you are in witness protection with that no beard.
I'm telling you, man. So
you can probably get by.
I think we've got a friggin' orb denier here. Pending about the brown mountain lions while I bite my tongue without boots on the ground at the location. And it's just getting to that location. I mean, people have tried before. We made no attempt to get down from where we were at just because we wouldn't have gotten there. You know
and it was freezing.
But all right, let's see.
Shade Viking says, I wonder how many other names they tried before settling on Hellbent Holler. None.
That was it. She was just like, calling it Hellbent Holler. You know.
That's what it is. That is what the project is. Just is.
Yeah, we do, David. We do try to, and there's stuff too that we've had moments that we haven't included in any of our videos where we're freaking out. Not freaking out, yeah. But our cameras just didn't capture it. You know what I'm saying? We included that thing with the laughing beast because you could barely hear it. You could somewhat hear it, and but even then, it was just on the cusp. And when people were like, I don't hear it, I went, hey, I didn't hear it either. Jesse could, I couldn't. But I mean, we at least, sometimes it's like we're chasing this stuff with technology because something will happen and we can't capture it. And then we come home and we were going, if we had this, we could have caught that. And then we go and we start looking into that particular. That's why we got that parabolic dish that we rarely use at this point.
We're going to use it for this, though. I'm going to tell you that. We are definitely going to do that. Okay. All right. Somebody asked where the heck is it?
Abigail popped in.
Hello, Abigail. Matt J asked, when is the event in Tennessee and what is it called? It is called the Tennessee Wildman and Cryptid Con. It is on Saturday, October 14th and Sunday, October 15th. It's at Montgomery Bell State Park, and it's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of great speakers, including myself and Ron Moorhead. There's going to be vendors.
Who else is there? There's...
Do you have the website?
I'm posting the whole thing there, posting the link.
Yes.
Scott Carpenter's there, Ron Moorhead.
Oh, Scott Carpenter's coming?
Scott Carpenter's going to be there.
Dope. All right.
They're trying to focus on all the different paranormal and cryptid aspects of Tennessee.
Tickets.
Ron Moorhead, MK Davis.
Tickets are $20.
Scott Carpenter. Jesse and Joe Doyle. I ain't speaking. So
Joe Doyle's gonna be holding my equipment.
I'm gonna be holding the but yeah, so it's gonna be kind of a
Hellbent Holler. There they are. Yeah. That's the main event, kids. What is it?
Got something to tell us, Martin Groves?
Martin
Groves.
Martin Groves will also be there, apparently.
Yeah, Bubba, I'll be giving you a call when I get off this phone here, when I get off this thing tonight.
Somebody didn't want to
don't go to bed yet. Don't spill them beans. So
Arcane Discoveries says, speaking of Westminster, what's the deal with the Clemson Experimental Forest out there? Passed through there the other day. Thought it was odd. So Clemson is a agricultural focused college. I know that everybody knows it for its football, but it's actually an agriculturally focused college. So the experimental forest is there off from the university. It's within proximity of the university. Sometimes we actually go out there and condition sometimes when we want to hike. We're not doing investigations. We just go out there and want to hike and really like get into shape and condition for hiking. We've done it several times. We've run across places where they'll have like stuff out in the forest that they're like letting rot in the forest, like computer monitors and stuff. They also plant trees, you know. So there's they do like forestry training out there because Clemson does forestry degrees. So that's what that is. It's a forest used by the.
We've been out there a
college.
ton. We've never had anything weird happen.
Never had anything weird.
Never had anything weird happen at all.
They have dove hunting fields out there.
Yeah.
It's on the lake. It's on Lake Hartwell, but
it's fairly close to us. So yeah, we've gone out there for conditioning before.
Mm-hmm.
We've gone out there to like test backpacks,
Mm-hmm.
like if we're testing like a new loadout or something like that.
Yep.
Benita Wilcox popped in. Hello, Benita. So, where was I at with this?
Joe looks like the bloke from Taken.
Taken. It was Taken. Cryptid Castleberry is asking, are y'all planning on CryptidCon in Lexington? Not right now, but I'll just say this too. I don't care. It was cool because somebody had one of the organizers had asked just an open post going, hey, here's our lineup. Who else would you like to see? And people were really cool. There were quite a few people that were like Joe and Jesse from Help and Holler.
A lot of people said that.
A lot of people said that. We were quite honestly very caught off guard by that. And
I was like, come on, guys.
I was just like,
yes.
I called Jesse and I'm going, you won't believe this. Get on Facebook. It was extremely touching. So I don't know if they will extend an invitation to us. If they do, we will go. But you know what? Why don't y'all just burn up CryptidCon? Be like, hey, y'all need to bring Jesse and Joe.
You guys, let's do a fire mission here.
Mission.
Fire mission. You guys go to CryptidCon and demand Help and Holler.
That was the first one of these type of places conventions we'd ever gone to. We went like second or third year. We got to, I've got a total creeper picture of us in this. It was in this little old hotel the first year they did it
in Frankfort, Kentucky,
with this little bar restaurant area. When I mean little, it's about the size of this room we're in.
Yeah.
So there's a picture. I've got a picture of like with me and Jesse at this table doing this. My phone over here, kind of taking my phone, taking a snapshot of us, and then Linda Gottfried's at the other table because we didn't want to interrupt her, but we were also creepy as hell. So we just got a picture. It was great. We had a ball.
I got a picture with Linda at the convention though.
But my creeper photo of just us going, to get Linda in the photo. But yeah, it was great. It was just
that was a lot of
great.
fun. So we have really, really good memories of CryptidCon.
Mark's gonna have to claim us on his taxes this year,
He
man.
is.
So thank you,
we're
sir.
independent now.
Yeah. So yeah, the guys that are putting this on, it's their first conference of this sort. They are they've been a part of a lot of other conferences helping run them. That's why they've got such a killer lineup. Of just like Ron Moorhead and all these other, and us, of course,
only the finest.
But super nice guys. They reached out to us. I guess they've reached out to Martin too. So I'm gonna have to reach out and talk to Martin after this. But thank you for that, Marcus. So
yeah, it's about an hour west of Nashville. So
CWD 123. That is Martin Groves. Yes, he had that is Martin Groves. You are correct. Yeah, CryptidCon, like I said, that was the first conference we'd ever gone to. We don't do a lot of them just for time's sake. But that was one we did. It had a very special place in our heart. We haven't gone the last couple of years just because we've been focused on just some of the stuff where
we got hammered and Joe confronted Nick Groff.
Was that CryptidCon? That wasn't CryptidCon.
That was the first CryptidCon we attended.
Yeah. I scared Nick Groff.
Because they really didn't have a handle on the situation.
They didn't have a handle on me.
They definitely didn't have a handle on you. They had like an open bar. Oh, the bartender was giving me just cups of Buffalo Trace. So I'm just drinking cups of Buffalo Trace. You were doing double vodkas and you confronted Nick Groff. That was awesome. And then we went to Daniel Boone's grave.
We did go to Daniel
That
Boone's
was a heck of a trip, guys. That was a heck of a trip.
But who was oh yeah, I just lost it. Damn it, I just lost it. Lost it.
Sorry.
Oh, damn it, I lost it again. What's going on with me here?
Are you all right?
So,
You're probably
Joan,
starving.
it was Jones Said Farm. I'll be messaging Jeff Waldridge about CryptoCon.
You should
message Jeff about
Jeff
CryptoCon.
Waldridge about CryptoCon.
Jeff's going to be somebody else that you see as he does a little thing called Monster Bake. It's funny because we met him at the last CryptoCon we went to. We had Jesse was familiar with Lee Kirkland, the one guy that runs it. We had not met Jeff before. So we met Jeff and he's just like, oh, I do a channel too. And I'm like, oh, let me check out your channel. You check out ours. We're each pulling each other's channel up. He does kind of what we do. It's just like a lot of night investigations. He's by himself most of the time. Shoots everything with this creepy red light. But it's weird because we traded numbers. And then like that night we're like two 16-year-old girls. We're in our hotel rooms going, I'm watching your video right now. And you're in that cornfield. I'm watching your video and you're in the woods. But yeah, Jeff's a great guy. But yeah, tell them all, man. Put Hellbent Holler on that thing. We don't usually do that, but for CryptidCon, I'll do that.
Yeah,
I'll be cheesy and I'll be cheesy.
Fire Mission, Hellbenders Ride. Yeah. Go and tell the CryptidCon of Lexington, Kentucky organizers you want to see Hellbent Holler there.
Arcane Discovery's talking about the Hellbent Holler t-shirt, the new Small Town Monster documentary. Yeah, as soon as that came out, we started getting messages going. The guy, that's Aaron Dees, the guy that wrote the book. Yeah, he's got a Hellbent Holler shirt that we gave him that he was repping us on there. So awesome. So
we're probably gonna do last call now.
Yeah.
Last call. I'm just doing that. No, I don't at all. We're gonna do last call. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and throw those out there. I think we went over all the stuff we're doing. Mm-hmm. We have a video coming out Wednesday. We went over that, but we got we have a video coming out Wednesday. I got to finish that up tomorrow and get it done and ready to come out on Wednesday. I don't know about what time, maybe about noon or 3:00, one of those two. But Wednesday, keep an eye out. Make sure you are still subscribed. Make sure you have your notifications on and get ready for a Wednesday release. That video is going to be coming out. You can see me act like an autistic fool in the woods that I am.
Marcus Seth does do some conventions.
Yeah, he did Monster Fest.
And I think he's going to be at CryptidCon as well. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But
Alan Lassiter, can I catch a ride with y'all when you go to the convention?
You're sitting on equipment cases. We're
gonna strap you to the roof because the car is full of equipment every time we go to these because we take all of our stuff. So
everybody who donated tonight, we appreciate it.
Yes,
Marcus, especially you, just throwing $10 every 5 minutes.
You guys.
We appreciate that. So
yeah, like I said, I'm out of my bar closed down, so I've been working on videos. So she's
a poor hungry YouTuber at this point, sir. So
I've been working on videos.
Speaking of which, thank you, Grace.
Thank you, Grace. That's why we are getting videos out at the clip that we're getting them out. And I look so well rested because I'm not up till 5 a.m. cleaning a bar, so that's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so thank you guys for that. That's really helping out, and keep your eyes out for Wednesday's release. It's going to be good, and there's going to be a follow-up to it. And then I'm going to start working on also some of the From the Archive stuff. You can see me get attacked by a creature at Lost Cove, North Carolina.
Ray Provencio, $9.99. Thank you. By the end of the wire here, man. So
everybody's coming in hard.
Tracker coming in hot. What's up, buddy?
Coming in hot.
Marcus, you are really going to have to write us off on your taxes, man. Thank you for your support. We greatly appreciate it.
His accountant's like, what is a Hellbent Holler?
What is a Hellbent Holler? What do you just give me your checkbook? Give me your credit card. Just cut this up. So thank you. We appreciate it, guys.
Thank you guys so much. You guys are the best. Again, make sure those notifications on. Because Wednesday video release, It's going to be another dark corner adventure from your friends here at Hellbent Holler. I'm going to go make dinner. Thank you guys so much. What the Flock coming in with that $9.99 kid.
Hey, Indiana Jones. Remember in Indiana Jones rolled right before the boulder?
We don't talk about Indiana Jones after what they
belongs in a museum.
They massacred my boy.
Stingray coming in hot. Damn, man. Good Lord. I have to run another hour now. Good Lord.
Y'all wild.
Y'all wild.
Y'all wild.
Thank you guys. Right. We appreciate it greatly.
We do appreciate it. This is awesome. This is really awesome. You warm the cockles and the subcockles of my heart.
Subcockles. Hey, and we're toying around a little bit with like
Donate us money to buy Joe a new beard.
I need razors now, man.
Go on.
Hell, what was I talking about? All right, so our YouTube channel was always like an afterthought to us. The field investigations were the big thing, and then if we could get it on YouTube, we did. If we didn't, we didn't. You know, the Monday night streams have kind of changed our opinions on everything. Now YouTube's it's weird to say, it's kind of become like near and dear to our hearts.
It's fun.
It's fun.
You guys have made YouTube fun again.
We're enjoying it now again. You know, we enjoy putting stuff out and hearing what people have to say about it and everything like that. So it's weird. I especially was always very ambivalent about it, and now like Monday nights are like the high point of my entire week.
Yeah.
It's great. So we're going to be doing that Wednesday release. You guys let us know what release time works best for everybody.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. And
like
also
noon, 5 p.m. Eastern, like whatever. So,
yeah, and you know, guys, we just appreciate all this. It's really cool. It's really cool to hang out with you guys. We have the best chat on YouTube. Hopefully next Monday at 7:30 p.m. when you come back to Hellbent Holler Live, which I know you're all coming back to it. Hopefully we'll be at 10,000 subscribers. Make sure you guys tell people about Hellbent Holler. Spread the gospel of the Hellbent Holler. And praise be to the Hellbent Holler. My Hellbent children. Yeah, because we got to hit 10,000.
Coming in thick.
Coming in hard.
Yeah.
Heavy. I'm going to go make some barbecue chicken. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We're going to throw on some music. You guys tell each other goodbye. If you've got a story, anything you want to share with us, emails down below. Email us. I read it 20,000 times a day. So make sure you guys email us if you've got anything, you got any tips, anything like that. Thank you so much. Hit that like button. Tell your friends. Instead of a naked mole rat, it's a naked Joe Cryptid. Oh,
Jesse's got a naked mole rat song that she sings that she made up. So we will have to do next time for you.
Yeah. So. Tune in for the naked mole rat song.
We'll have more field stuff out this week, guys.
More field stuff. We've been hitting it. We've been hitting the trails, kids. So thank you guys so much. Good night. We'll be talking to a lot of you throughout the week, of course. It's some of y'all we talk to every day.
So thank you again. And yeah, it's we're probably going to start up an email separately for like the Hellbenders, because sometimes we'll get like messages we want to hear from everybody, but like needless to say,
some of you we love to hear from daily.
Right? So we're probably going to come up with like a way to get in touch with us better.
Yeah. And shout out to Abigail. Hope you enjoy your t-shirt and your pint glass and your stickers, and I hope your dad likes this t-shirt. Thank you for being a fan. Thank you for watching. Hope that you can become a cryptozoologist in the future. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to all of you. There is nothing like the Hellbenders, and they'll never listen, dad, ass. You guys rock. Love y'all. See you.